Welcome to this week's deal review. All right, so we're gonna go to Santa Ana, California. Great area out in Orange County. This area here is very popular. If we get this area under contract, our houses typically go very quick. However, issues do occur. So of course, deal reviews are not all fun and games. We want to talk to you guys about issues that actually happen. So in Santa Ana, we did have a pretty good deal. Spread of $84,000, 84,000. Great spread out in that area. We did have to go through a lot to get to this point. Let's talk about what we did. So this property here, it's an interesting property. So if you take a look at this addition they did in the back here, you can definitely tell there's some issues. There's some water damage. This thing needs some work. They started doing some repairs on the house, but homeowner repairs wasn't done properly. Never really got through them all. Water leaks there. Take a look at this. You got an area window that's all boarded up. Look at this up here. This house needs a lot of work. That's either termites or dry rot. This right here is pretty bad. You actually had the sheetrock falling in. So this house needed some work. Those look like they're probably bugs all around there. They cut around the bottom, probably found some type of water leak or electric issue they had to take care of at that time. As much work as this house is gonna be for the person that ended up buying it, I feel like it was just as much work for us to actually find someone to buy this house. So let's talk about what we did. All right, so the sellers of this property, house was vacant. There's one thing you just don't do when you're remodeling a house. Don't make the assumption that every wall within the house can be removed. The sellers removed a load-bearing wall within the house. That is a huge problem. Unless, of course, you have it supported properly by a new beam, engineering, things like that. Unfortunately, they did this 10 years ago. So what happened is the roof of the house started leaning in like this because there was nothing supporting it in the middle. This has been dipping for so long that it's caused so much damage to the roof that you couldn't just push it back up again. They were gonna have to pop the entire top off the house and rebuild new trusses, new roof, everything across the top of it, which means you're also probably taking out some plumbing, electrical, sheetrock on the ceiling. You're taking out so much stuff. The cost was gonna be so high. Now they had to get engineering, permits. There was a lot that needed to happen with this property, and unfortunately some of our buyers just couldn't do it. We went through 3 non-performing buyers in this property. Now keep in mind, my contract does not give people a way out, but there's a certain point where you have a heart. We didn't know about the load-bearing wall issue during the escrow. We found this out when one of our buyers pointed it out, and it became a big problem. First buyer found out about it, brought it forward, we let him out of the contract. Second buyer came forward, then he found out the property just needed way more work than he thought. He screwed up. We found a third buyer. I mean, this was bad. We even received EMD from some of these buyers as well. The construction number of the house kept going up every time we showed it. I swear we were driving to this house every single day trying to get somebody else to look at this thing. Closed 50 days late on this property. 50! We were in touch with the sellers every single step of the way. They were great to work with. They understood because they made a mistake removing that wall. And once we walked them through the work that it was gonna be, the sellers understood it a lot more. On the other hand, they wanted this deal done. They were tired of it, right? The deal needed to get done. They wanted to get the money in their account. Now with the non-performing buyers, I could have pushed that, right? We were in escrow. They had to close. If I pushed that, I would end up having to go to court with them for non-performance, tie it up for potentially a year while we go through this process. Now, what's that gonna do to the sellers? So I had to make a business decision and say, hey, instead of making 100 grand we thought we'd make on this property, let's go ahead and lower this price down, try to get a buyer in that will actually close on this thing. So that buyer there, I went ahead and let go. Second buyer came in, we did take their EMD, so their earnest money deposit, and then the third buyer that came in actually closed the property just significantly later than we wanted. So not every deal goes as planned. When you're walking the property or getting a video of the property to see what the construction is gonna look like, there's gonna be things you miss. Your buyers are gonna catch that. Just do your best to try to get through those items, protect your buyers, protect your sellers, make sure you're offering great customer service every step of the way, and you'll start seeing spreads just like this. Hopefully this was helpful for you guys. This is this week's deal review. I'm Scott Oots, we'll talk to you later.